Hello and welcome to the DOGE and Maha News Channel. My name is Chris. In this video, we're going to look at some of the wasteful government spending that Rand Paul talks about in his Festivus Report 2024 version. We're going to go ahead and look at some of the details of this wasteful government spending. Let's get into it. Okay, so here's the Festivus Report 2024, and I will have a link down below so you can go ahead and check this out on your own. But it is 41 pages, and let's go ahead and scroll down and look at some of the information down here. Okay, here you can see he has a kind of an opening letter summarizing the entire report. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this report summary. The Festivus Report 2024. Happy Festivus. I do love the Seinfeld reference. It makes me laugh. This is like Rand Paul airing his grievances as he celebrates Festivus. That's the first thing you do in Festivus is you air your grievances. So here he goes. How is 2024 already wrapping up? It feels like we blinked and history dumped a year's worth of plot twists on us. Donald Trump dodged 2 assassination attempts. Vice President Kamala Harris ousted President Biden from the presidential race last minute only to fail spectacularly. The 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris captured global attention with a brilliant display of breakdancing from our friends in Australia. And November handed control of Congress to the Republicans. Yet even amid these seismic events, one issue remained unchanged: the ever-mounting national debt. Last Festivus, we bemoaned the national debt nearing $34 trillion. In just a year, Washington's career politicians and bureaucrats have managed to push it beyond $36 trillion. Unsurprisingly, with hardly a second thought. Who's to blame for our crushing national debt? Everybody. This year, members of both political parties in Congress voted for massive spending bills filled with subsidies for underperforming industries, continued military aid to Ukraine, and controversial climate initiatives. As Congress spends to reward its favorite pet projects, the American taxpayers are forced to pay through high prices and crippling interest rates. The same big spenders teamed up, yet again, to continue sending Americans' hard-earned money to foreign countries, funding endless wars, all while still ignoring our wide-open southern border. And our mountain of debt will continue to pile even higher. The Congressional Budget Office predicts we will add an average of $2.1 trillion in debt annually for the next decade. According to a July House Budget Committee report, the U.S. government will add over $6.4 billion of debt every single day for the next 10 years, borrowing over $268 million every hour, $4.5 million every minute, and over $74,401 every second. Wow. When you think about those numbers, that is crazy. So in the time that you watch this video, let's say it's about 10 minutes long, the national debt will increase by 4.5 million times 10 or $45 million in the time that you watch this video. Blows my mind. The letter continues. This year I'm highlighting a whopping, this is a big number, $1,008,313,329,626.12. That's over $1 trillion in government waste, including things like ice skating, drag queens, a $12 million Las Vegas pickleball complex, $4.8 million on Ukrainian influencers, and more. No matter how much money the government has wasted, politicians keep demanding even more. As always, taking the path to fiscal responsibility is often a lonely journey, but I've been fighting government waste like DOGE before DOGE was cool, and I will continue my fight against government waste this holiday season. So before we get to the feats of strength, it's time for my airing of spending grievances. I have a lot of problems with federal spending, and now it's time to hear all about them. Wow. Great opening letter. Okay, ghost towns on the government's dime. The federal government spent $10 billion on maintaining, leasing, and furnishing almost entirely empty buildings. Wow, $10 billion. As the average American taxpayer struggle to pay rent, their hard-earned dollars are ironically funneled into more real estate. Uncle Sam's deserted buildings and storage facilities. A recent Government Accountability Office report highlights a glaring inefficiency. Our government senselessly wasted nearly $10 billion on empty offices. Most federal offices are ghost towns, with 17 out of 24 agencies using only 25% or less of their space in 2023. Even the busiest offices barely reach 50% capacity. The problem predates the pandemic, but COVID-19's telework boom made it worse. These buildings were underused even before we all learned how to unmute ourselves on Zoom. The GAO calculated building capacity based on usable square feet per employee. It found that many of these buildings are just oversized, expensive storage units for empty desks. In addition to the whopping $2 billion annual maintenance cost, the federal government is spending $5 billion on leases. Wow. This isn't a new issue either. In a 2022 waste report, I noted the government spent $1.7 billion on 77,000 empty, unused properties. Despite empty offices, the federal government also spent $3.3 billion on high-end office commodities between 2020 and 2022. To share just a couple examples, while the CDC fearmongered the American public into closing schools and wearing ineffective masks, it was busy installing solar-powered picnic tables costing a total of $237,960. There's an example of one. CDC solar-powered picnic table. Wow. Another example of this outrageous spending comes from the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation's PBGC $15 million splurge on new furniture, even though its offices largely remain empty. The GAO's findings are a call to action. It's time to get serious about office space management. Trimming down on unused space and not spending our hard-earned cash to furnish these empty offices could save a bundle, freeing up funds for more pressing needs, like literally anything else. All right, let's check out the next report. A pandemic plunder. A Florida man stole $8 million in COVID-19 relief funds to buy an island and more. Wow, $8 million? Let's see what happens here. Amidst the serene Floridian beauty, a dark tale of modern piracy unfolds. Patrick Parker Walsh, a Florida businessman turned pandemic plunderer, made headlines for his audacious escapades. He stole nearly $8 million in COVID-19 relief funds to buy Sweetheart Island, a private paradise of his own. The bold act of fraud, which led to his sentencing to 66 months in federal prison, sheds light on a saga of taxpayer dollars gone astray and government mismanagement. Wow. Well, at least he was prosecuted. The court documents illustrate brazen acts of deceit. 16 fraudulent applications for Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, loans featuring fictitious employees and companies fabricated out of thin air. These documents outline a staggering $11,950,439 in requested PPP loan funds, of which he managed to obtain $4,996,167. Unsatisfied with one illicit endeavor, he delved into the Economic Injury Disaster Loans, or the EIDLs, raking in an extra $2,822,000 through deceptive applications. With little oversight or accountability, the COVID-19 relief programs represented an opportunity for plunder that only Blackbeard could have imagined. Walsh's case is just one jewel in a treasure trove of governmental oversight failures where the swindlers of the pandemic relief programs ran rampant. According to analysis by the Associated Press, individuals engaged in fraudulent activities potentially stole over $280 billion from COVID-19 relief funding, with an additional $123 billion being squandered or misused. Wow, that is a lot of money. Wow. These losses account for approximately 10% of the $4.2 trillion that the U.S. government has allocated thus far for COVID-19 relief aid. 10% is either being squandered or stolen. That's amazing. Additionally, the AP report provides some illuminating commentary. Here was this sort of endless pot of money that anyone could access, said Dan Fruchter, chief of the Fraud and White Collar Crime Unit at the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Washington. The real casualty of this isn't just the theft of $8 million, but the erosion of trust in government. It's a cautionary tale for Congress and federal agencies. Always read the fine print, especially when safeguarding $4.2 trillion of America's hard-earned money from the clutches of modern-day pirates. Let's check out another article. Your tax dollars at play. The Department of Interior, or the DOI, spent $12 million on a Las Vegas pickleball complex. Why is the DOI spending money on a pickleball complex? The federal budget, an enigmatic beast where our hard-earned money transforms into a kaleidoscope of public projects, some of which make us scratch our heads and ask, really? The 2024 Festivus Report shines a spotlight on a grant that's bouncing its way into the hearts of pickleball enthusiasts everywhere. The grand vision of a 30-court regional pickleball complex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Apparently, Las Vegas has more pickleball players than Elvis impersonators. And these racket-wielding enthusiasts are running out of places to play. The city's pickleball players are in such a pickle that the federal government has set aside 5.43 acres to ensure they have ample space to serve, volley, and smash their way to pickler fame. Not to mention, the architects of this complex aim to put Las Vegas on the global pickleball map by hosting tournaments from local to international levels. Move over World Series of Poker, there's a new game in town. However, not everyone in Sin City is happy about this development. According to local news outlet KSNV, homeowners had petitioned the city to vote against the agreement and consider moving the complex elsewhere, citing concerns about noise, nuisance, increased traffic and parking congestion, and an overall decrease in the quality of life and home value. There's irony in a city synonymous with high-stakes gambling investing $12 million American tax dollars in pickleball, a sport often associated with retirees looking for a low-stakes, leisurely pastime. In short, you've been pickled. I love pickleball, but I don't understand why the Department of Interior is spending money to create a pickleball complex. It doesn't make any sense to me. Well, that was just 3 examples out of this Festivus report, and there are probably about 35 more pages to kind of go over. I'll probably actually do more of these in future videos as well. They're kind of fun to read. It's interesting to see how much money the government wastes and the weird different projects it goes to. Everything from pickleball to fraud to wasteful government buildings. It's pretty interesting, and hopefully DOGE can put a stop to this and bring some common sense back to the use of our taxpayer money. If you're interested in these DOGE stories as much as I am, I do have a playlist. You can check it out right here. And I'm going to put out DOGE stories pretty much every single day. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. If you do want to subscribe, you can go ahead and click on this button right here. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.